Welcome to the Honor Movement, where we always take the vertical approach. What are your values? That's such an interesting question. You know, we all have values. Maybe it was something that was passed down through your family, through your grandparents. You know, in this home, we eat together. We love each other. We value money. You know, we come together. You know, those are your values. And you know, I think we can always simplify values by just asking ourselves this: what's important to us? What's truly important to me? And then if I know what's important to me, then I know what I value. When I know what I value, when I know what's important to me, that shapes what I do, and it shapes how I do it. You know, and we go through life, and we're always trying to figure out what's truly important. And what are the things, most importantly, that look to impede on those things that are important to us? You know, I learned I think a principle in my life about values when I was in high school, and I learned it in a very strange way. And sometimes I'm even a little bit apprehensive about sharing this story, but it's helped me so much. So when I was in high school, there was this kid that I knew, very, very peculiar kid. Not even sure how old he was, not quite sure where exactly he lived, what neighborhood he lived in from time to time. But one thing I knew about this kid, and everybody knew about this kid, he knew how to play basketball. I mean, he was really good at playing basketball. And I know that for a fact personally, because we used to play for 1 year, for a whole school year for that matter. We used to play pick up 3-on-3 basketball during our PE class. And we would actually bet our lunch money, winner takes all. And because me and him were two of the better players, we would always be on the opposite side of the wager. And I know for a fact that there were a couple of days that I went without lunch because I had lost my lunch money to this kid. I mean, again, the kid was good, but he was also very unreliable. We had always anticipated that he would be on the basketball team with us, and if he was on the basketball team with us, then we'd be a better basketball team. But we never knew what was really going on with him. You know, there was this rumor that he was selling weed, and every once in a while that he'd get taken out of school, and I'm not sure if he was selling weed in school. But we know that there were multiple times where a police officer would go to the classroom and take him out of school. And you know, so he would disappear for 3 weeks, and then he would come back, and you know, we'd be on this hamster wheel again. You know, what's going to happen? Is he going to play with us? Is he not going to play with us? He's really good. It'd be cool if he played with us, but we just don't know what's going to happen. And this last time, the very last time this happened, to my recollection, he was back at practice, and I think our coach was really wanting him to, you know, give him another chance, and you know, not because he was talented, and two, because you know, he needed to have a better path in life. I remember my coach said this, and he had huddled us together. And he brought this kid together, and the conversation went from us to him directly. And he looked at him, he said, you need to decide what you want to be. You have to choose. At this point, it seems like you're conflicted in your values, and you have to choose one of these two values. Because either you want to be a student athlete, or you want to be a criminal. But you have to choose one. Because at this stage, you're not very good at either one of them, because you're conflicted whether you want to be here or there, and it's distracting you from the one that you need to focus on. And you'd be better off just focusing on one of them. And don't get me wrong, and you know what we do here, we're always trying to promote the highest of values, the highest of virtues, the vertical way. So I would never encourage anyone to break the law, to commit a crime, to do the wrong thing. But I think the principle there was so powerful. We can't live our lives with conflicting values. Like, we can't say that we want this thing and we're doing other things that are pulling us away from the thing that we claim to value. So what do you value? What's important to you? And what's getting in the way of you staying true to that value, to that virtue, to what's important to you? Anyone who knows me knows that I have two preeminent values, two main values, and these things show up in my life every single day. My number one value is my faith. That's my number one, numero uno. Nothing more important to me than my faith. Every day. The first part of my day, my first waking hours, is dedicated to my faith. I don't want to put the rest of the day at risk, because if I miss that, then I may not be able to catch up on the back end. 2 times a year where I oversleep or I mismanage my time and I'm in a rush and I don't get to attend to that, I feel unsettled throughout the day because I haven't done the thing that's number one to me, my number one value. And number 2, and I could be annoying about this, I love to exercise. I love training. I love being in shape. I love everything about the gym and being fit. I love that. So anywhere I am in the world, all I really need, I'll say, a cold coffee and somewhere to work out. And that's all I need, and I'm happy. I've learned along the way that I have to be intentional about protecting those things, about avoiding things that are contrary to those values. I can't have conflict in values. See, values, when we know what's important to us, that determines our hobbies, it determines our friendships, it determines who we marry, it determines things as simple as where you do lunch. You know, there's a new show that'll come out and maybe it's on Netflix and I want to binge watch and, watch a couple episodes and I realize it's starting to get late. And right then I have to make a decision. Am I gonna binge watch into the night, or am I gonna be able to get up and exercise and do my thing in the morning? And you realize that binge watching late into the night and the early morning exercise guy, those are 2 different people, conflicting individuals. And I have to choose one. So again, I ask, what are your values? What's important to you? And what are the things that I need to, that you need to, that we need to remove from our lives that are contrary to those values? The thing that I realized as well too, going back to the story of my friend from high school, I probably haven't seen him in close to 20 years. And I don't know where he is now. We chose different paths along the way, and it likely led us in 2 different places. But you learn about life, right? That when it comes to the momentary, that you can enjoy hobbies and interests and laughs with anyone, with people in the moment. But when it comes to the long run, when it comes to the long term, when it comes to doing life in general, that has to be done with people of common values. So that's another part of it. Who are the people that are in my life as I'm trying to live out these values, trying to live out these virtues? I think you'll figure it out. Y'all are smart. Y'all are very capable. And I know this about you. Us humans, we're not as bad as they say that we are. And don't you be committing crimes or breaking the law, because the next generation is always watching.